welcome to Liberty TV, the latest news in sports, clubs, and music.
This year has been big for Liberty High School, making history in multiple sports, including our first team to qualify for state, boys cross country. Bowen Grip, Jack Kinsler, Peter Woodward, Caleb Schillinger, and Christian Montover achieved their goal 1 mile at a time. I'm Sam Harvey, and I'm here with Tyson Baker from the boys cross country team. So Tyson, can you tell me 3 of your highlights from the season?
I think 3 highlights are definitely the first one would be the state meet, qualifying for it and going to it. It was just a great time, and we got 10th in state, which is really phenomenal for our 3rd year going out, which we're all so happy to watch our boys run, and they're happy to run it. Another one would be just being with the cross-country team. We've done a lot of team bonding. I think we're a really close-knit group with each other, like playing spike ball after practice and stuff like that. And just like team dinners and stuff like that. It's really a great team. And summer practices were really a fun time. All of us getting together and running together. We just had a great time, and it was a great season.
Can you tell me more about what you guys did for team bonding?
Well, we'd go to each other's houses for team dinners, and we'd play spike ball for like 3 hours after practice, and we'd have just fun in the group chat, and yeah, we just got really close together, and it was a great time.
I'm Sam Harvey from Liberty TV, and I'm here with Mr. Borchert, one of the boys cross-country coaches. So, Mr. Borchert, what are some goals you had at the beginning of the season that you guys met?
Well, the boys they set the goal to qualify for the state cross-country meet this year, which might have been crazy to a lot of people outside of our team because they were nowhere close to that last year. But they've grown a lot. They ran a lot over the winter. They ran a lot in the spring for track season. They ran a lot over the summer, and then something they thought they could accomplish, and they did it. So just this Saturday, we ran at the state cross-country meet for the first time in program history. So I'm really proud of them.
What did you guys do to meet your goal?
They just run all the time. They just love to run. It might sound crazy to you guys, but they run every day of their lives. It's hard to get them to take a day off, and they love to do it. They run together, and so I think the team camaraderie and the fact that they always just want to get together and go for runs is the reason that they got there.
Yeah, I just talked to Tyson Baker, and he said that the whole team was really close, and you did a lot of team bonding.
We did.
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. Yeah, we do a ton of team bonding. We did a team camp up in Decorah this summer. So as many guys as were available went up to Decorah to the campus of Luther College, and they run around in the trails in there, and we wanted to go rafting, but the weather didn't cooperate. So, but we did lots of fun things. We ate ice cream and we ran, and that was just one example. They get together a lot. One of the crazy things about these guys is they seem to just genuinely like to hang out together. So we came back from the state meet on Saturday, and they got out their spike ball nets and they played spike ball for another 2 hours together after the state cross country meet when we had gotten up at 5 in the morning to leave. So they are a very tight knit, close group, and I think that helped them achieve their goals this year.
Yeah. What do you think your goal was as a coach?
My goal as a coach is always to give the athletes a good experience and make sure that they're enjoying their time in cross country. And my goal as a coach is also to help kids fall in love with running, which these ones seem to have done. So I guess we accomplished that much. Otherwise, it's just put them on the bus and tell them to run fast.
Gaming Club meets every Tuesday after school. Mr. Gavin, the club sponsor, provides this opportunity for gamers to come together to share their common interest in various video games. Club members play games like Smash Bros. And Minecraft. Here's Brady Hambright entering the chat with Gaming Club.
What are your names?
Cameron McKnight.
Caden Switzer.
Why did you set up Gaming Club?
Well, it started when I was in Spanish class with Devin my freshman year, and I said to him, wouldn't it be cool if we had a gaming club? And then he said to me, that's pretty stupid. And I said, yeah, it is, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then I emailed Miss Smith because Miss Smith's epic. And then I said, hey, can we start gaming club? And she said, yeah, sure.
And then I saw the poll on Cameron's Instagram, and he was like, yeah, let's get involved. Let's do this. And then one of our other comrades who has left us, sadly, we will not say his name for confidential purposes. Rest in peace. But he helped us out, and we got started, and all 3 of us kind of organized the whole thing, and we had our first meeting and everything. We had originally a lot of people, but once we figured out we couldn't go competitive, that sort of brought it down. But now we still are thriving with a lot of new people this year, and freshmen that are coming in that are wanting to game after school.
Yeah. One of
And
the
hopefully, eventually, we are looking for more people so that we would be able to go competitive and play against other schools.
One of the reasons that it sort of had a slower start is because when kids hear gaming club, they're like, yeah, I'm going to come and I'm going to play video games. But they didn't really realize how new this was. Not only was the school new, but this entire program was new. So they come and they're like, okay, yeah, by the way, we don't have this, we don't have that. And they're like, well, I'm not going to try and build this up. I just want to come play video games. So a lot of the groundwork was done by Caden and I and the third person, rest in peace. But yeah, we built it up and we've got, I don't know, I'd say a solid like 20 people a day now. So, or a meeting, whatever.
If people want to join, what do they got to do? Do they got to bring anything?
You just come.
Yeah, you just come
It'd be
Tuesdays
helpful
after
if you
school.
bring, like, we have PS4s that the school owns, but most of the time it's either you bring your own game or most of us just play Smash Bros. Together.
Yeah, you can play whatever you want. Right now, I'll let you in on the down low. Right now, we're working on a Minecraft LAN. So if you want to bring like a laptop that you're able to play Minecraft on, we're gonna start a LAN world. I don't know what we're gonna do in it, but it's gonna be pretty epic.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Mr. Camus, a teacher here at Liberty, pitched his way to success in the big leagues. Here's Soo-Won Kim with a look into his MLB career.
Okay, so can you explain how you become a teacher from baseball player?
Yes, so I went and I played baseball for 12 seasons, all throughout the minor leagues, all over the country and the world. And when I was done, I actually came and played baseball out of high school. So I signed out of high school. When I was finished, I was lucky enough to have a scholarship to go back to college. And so when I went back to college, I was getting my finance degree at the University of Iowa. And it just dawned on me that I would like to try to make a difference on young people's lives. So at that point, I thought about the possibility of teaching. I remember I was a senior at Iowa at that point, and went back, started doing some research on some possible teaching transfer, transition to teach degrees. And so I found one at Simpson College. So once I finished my finance degree, I had done some research and I realized that I was pretty close to being endorsed to teach business education. I just needed a couple more classes, and then I needed all my philosophy of education and all that. So at that point, I decided to enroll in a Master of Arts in Teaching at Simpson College in Indianola, Iowa. And in the process of that, I was able to substitute teach throughout the Iowa City District, and because my classes were set up one night a week. So I would substitute during the day, and then I would travel to Des Moines and take my classes for my master's.
Okay, so and tell me more about your baseball career, like how you became, what team, why you quit, etc.
Yeah. Okay. So I got drafted out of high school actually in 2002. Went to Iowa City High School, and really was an interesting career that I had. I didn't play varsity ball actually till I was a junior in high school. Threw pretty well my junior year, and then I continued to develop and get a little bit better. My junior year as a pitcher, I played first base and pitcher, and I started getting some interest from colleges. And then when I went into my senior year, I gained some velocity and got a little better. And at that point, I just started being contacted by Major League Baseball teams. And they started coming into my home kind of as like recruiting visits. And they started asking me if I had any interest in going professional out of high school. And so at that point, I, told them that I would have an interest of doing that if it made financial sense. And just kind of came out of nowhere, where I went from being recruited in college to play in college to all of a sudden having a chance to be drafted. So I got drafted after my senior year. In fact, Iowa baseball plays in the summers. So I actually got drafted in June and only pitched, I think, 1 or 2 games of my senior year, because at that point the Los Angeles Dodgers drafted me, and they didn't really want me to continue to play because they didn't want me to get hurt. So At that point, I just played a little bit of my senior year and then signed a professional contract and went and played in the minor leagues for a long time.
Okay, so last question is, how did you go from college to pro?
Yeah, and it kind of just like I mentioned there, I actually went from high school. So baseball and hockey actually are two sports that are unlike most sports at the amateur level. Because they have a minor leagues, so they a lot of times half the first round, half of all the rounds are usually high school players. So in hockey and baseball, a lot of times, many times it's why we don't know the sports very well. We don't know the amateur players. In college, they're not popular college sports because many of the players sometimes forego college to start their professional career out of high school. And so you see the same thing with hockey and baseball, those minor league teams. So they like you to get in early when you're younger and start developing in the minor leagues and go through A-ball and AA and AAA and kind of develop your way up until you get to the major leagues. So it just happened where I got drafted out of high school and started my professional career then. Went back to college when I was 28. Yep.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Throughout the years, marching band has been taking large steps into a more difficult routine. From standing to marching, they have been working harder towards their goal. Here's Brady Hambright with Liberty's marching band.
How was City Marching Band different from Liberty Marching Band?
City was different because, I was new and the band had been in place for many years prior to me getting there. So they kind of had an idea of what they do and their traditions, and I just had to kind of maintain those traditions and help them, be able to perform in the style of which that school had established, which is a very, high quality group. And so the difference was, coming here where there was no tradition and having to kind of get something going that didn't exist.
So, with Liberty being so new, what were the difficulties of starting up, or how did you improve over the years?
Well, the kids have really done it on their own and really taken some ownership. I think there is some growing pains in that first year with people that were like, we want to do things like this school, or we want to do things like this place. And probably halfway through that year, they started to realize that it's really cool to be at your own school and establish your own ways of doing things and own traditions. And I think it was really the kids that kind of made it happen for the school, made the spirit and stuff happen. So it's really cool.
All right. Is there anything you'd want to say to people thinking about joining marching band next year?
Yeah, I always say that band, there's band, but the and in band, you can be in band and anything else. We're really accommodating to many different activities that people are involved in, and that's a huge part of what Liberty is founded on. The principal, Mr. Kibbe, is really big on getting people involved. And if you have any interest in those things, you shouldn't stop doing them when you get to high school. You should keep doing those activities and stay involved. It's a good thing. So that's what I'd say. Stay involved.